Hello YouTube, Vlogging X here, and this week I'm responding to a video done by Mr. Repzion called Anonymous, How Far is Too Far? And there is a lot of hypocrisy in this video, especially in the later parts as we will see. But let's not be in suspense any longer and begin the video. So I cut out the first 45 seconds of Daniel's video because it is a product placement and it just leads to the talking point of his video, which is Anonymous. And all Daniel is talking about is the most dangerous town where many of the convicted hackers live. So we will start there.
And that documentary leads me into my next talking point, specifically in regards to Anonymous. I get a lot of comments on videos I've done in the past about certain stories and certain news outlets of where Anonymous has contributed to helping stories get more things released on someone doing something they shouldn't have done.
Now straight away I can tell you that what Anonymous is doing is illegal. Since 2009 at least 60 members of Anonymous have been arrested. These members have been mainly convicted on charges including conspiracy, the Computer Misuse Act of 1990, well, breaches of the Computer Misuse Act, offences related to making threats to FBI agents, and unauthorised impairments of protected computers. This exposing of people doing the wrong thing by doing the wrong thing can lead to some not so good outcomes. I think I'll leave that to later in the video to explain it. It would take too long now.
For those of you who don't know, Anonymous is an anonymous group of people who are actively involved in either legal or illegal activities to find information, get information, or hack into people's computers and find informational files, and then use that against them and help prosecutors even get people prosecuted of crimes they have committed.
What Anonymous is doing is illegal, Daniel, and not only that, but what Anonymous is doing is in breach of the 4th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States.
One of the biggest examples of Anonymous that I like to use is their battle that they have done towards pedophiles, specifically in exposing men who have been involved with distributing or filming or participating in child pornography. Anonymous is well known for finding these people, finding their personal information, and getting them arrested.
This is in complete violation of the 4th Amendment of the Constitution, Daniel. The hackers have invaded the privacy of that mentally ill individual and gotten them arrested for it. So according to you, pedophiles don't have the rights to the 4th Amendment? Because that is something I'm starting to draw here.
And personally, in those types of instances, I'm 100% okay with what Anonymous does. But then there's the question we must ask, is this type of thing illegal? Hacking into someone's computer, finding personal files of things that they are doing in their private life? My answer is yes. If they are violating other people, specifically in regards to child pornography and spreading that type of shit, then by all means, I don't think they have a right to privacy. That's my personal opinion. Feel free to disagree.
Oh, I'm going to strongly disagree with your position, Daniel. Hence why I've made a video response. We do not get to pick and choose who has the right to privacy. How far does it go? It has been seen on more than one occasion that pedos will be hunted down, chased from their homes or the states they live in, and even killed by vigilantes based on information that people can easily get on the internet or on the sex offenders register. I'll leave 3 links in the description as examples of what I am saying here. Oh, and a bit later on, Daniel here will make a hypocritical statement that I will point out when we get to it.
But then, of course, there's this other side of Anonymous, which I don't know if these are people who actually classify themselves as anonymous or not, but people who hack into for example, big movie studios, the Sony hacks, finding all those leaking information and movie scripts and so on and so forth, hacking Xbox One. I don't know if that's classified as people who are involved with Anonymous. I think they're just people who classify themselves as hackers or so on and so forth, but this is all in the same area.
Apparently Lizard Squad hacked Xbox and the PlayStation Network, not Anonymous. I read that in a comment in your video.
You have people like Anonymous who, for the most part, do good in exposing people for the shit that they've done and crimes that they've committed and hurt other people.
Illegally and in violation of the 4th Amendment of the United States Constitution.
Then you have these other people who just like to hack and get into personal information and shut down the PlayStation Network, Xbox One, and fuck with people just randomly. And I'm completely against that type of behavior.
There are other groups of hackers, although I do think that some of those do say that they are part of Anonymous.
One of the most recent issues that I have faced regarding this is someone hacked into my Verizon cell phone account, got my credit card number, sent me an email on the email that I put on my YouTube channel saying that I hacked your Verizon account, blah 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 blah. Maybe next time you should have stronger passwords, and I had to change my credit card information because they had my phone number and they had access to every single phone contact in my phone.
I will actually say that my dad used to do things similar to what happened to Daniel here. He would hack the security of nearby people and leave them a message saying that they needed to upgrade their internet security.
These types of people, to me, are absolute scum. There's no reason to give out my personal information, my cell phone number, my credit card information, just because you don't like me.
Remember earlier in the video when I stated that Daniel will say something hypocritical later in the video? Well, that last statement was the hypocritical statement I was talking about. You are perfectly okay with these hacker groups violating the rights of pedophiles to protection under the 4th Amendment of the US Constitution. Yet you say that people who have violated your protection under the same 4th Amendment are scum. Hypocrisy at its finest.
But what I guess this ultimately boils down to is the ethical question that we must ask ourselves. Is Anonymous doing illegal activities, getting someone's personal information, their computer files, is that okay by your standard? And yes, I'm asking you guys.
Again with the hypocrisy. You're perfectly okay with Anonymous violating the rights of pedophiles protection under the 4th Amendment while saying that it is not okay for those same people hacking you.
I personally think that if someone is doing an illegal crime, and especially harming children, that Anonymous taking the effort to illegally get into their computer and access their files is completely acceptable by me.
Yes, the 4th Amendment of the US Constitution does provide protection of the right to privacy for all people, including pedophiles, as much as a lot of people don't like it.
But then of course there's the people who stand and say, well, even the pedophile has a right to privacy. Even the pedophile who's distributing child pornography has rights.
Well, at least you have the integrity to admit that, Daniel. Doesn't take away from the fact that in this video you are being a major hypocrite, but still, at least there is something to salvage from this.
And I'll be the first to admit, my justice with Anonymous getting into the computer deals with more of an emotional argument.
Pedophilia is a strong issue for me as well. Usually it's either people lynching pedos or calling for them to be lynched, or responding to homophobic shitheads who conflate homosexuality with pedophilia. But you're using a major appeal to emotion to justify the violation of these mentally ill people's rights under the 4th Amendment of the US Constitution.
I feel very strongly, emotionally, when they are harming children like that, especially exploiting them.
Holy shit, the hypocrisy on display here is astonishing!
And that's the reason why I'm perfectly okay with their rights being violated.
And that basically sums up your entire video. Literally, your entire video is pedophiles exploit children, therefore it is perfectly okay to violate their 4th Amendment rights. So not only is most of this video a massive appeal to emotion, but it is also containing major hypocrisy. You are perfectly okay with mentally ill pedophiles having their rights under the 4th Amendment violated, yet you call these same people scum when they violate those same rights for you personally.
Because when you violate children, to me, you shouldn't have a goddamn right yourself.
In 2 words, hell no!
So what do you guys think? Is this type of behavior that Anonymous does acceptable? Taking down bad guys who commit illegal activities?
That is a very loaded question, Daniel. You couldn't have phrased that more loaded. Committing illegal acts to expose illegal acts is not okay. And I'll mention this now. Any evidence that Anonymous do find through these breaches of the 4th Amendment of the US Constitution is inadmissible to court under the exclusionary rule. I'll leave a link in the description so you can read up on that rule. So that ends the video. Now, because the main subject of Daniel's video is about the vigilante group Anonymous, and Daniel makes a lot of pedophile references, and this is a response video, this video will be going in 3 of my 4 playlists. I'll link them all in the description and at the outro of this video. Daniel, I like you, and normally you make a lot of good points, but this is an awful, awful video. You got a massive appeal to emotion going, trying to justify Anonymous breaching the 4th Amendment of the Constitution, and a loaded question at the end. I am very disappointed, Daniel. I really am. I expected more from you. I do have another anti-vigilante video coming out next week related to the lynching of Dr. George Tiller and the responsibility of Fox News, or more specifically Bill O'Reilly, in that lynching. I know it happened several years ago, but I'm a young channel and I wasn't around when it happened. Or at least the channel Vlogging Their Ex Rants wasn't. Have a great day, everyone.